Welcome everyone to Edison High School's admissions presentation. I want to make a couple of introductions before we commence the presentation. So I am Dan Keller, Edison High School's principal. I have with me as well Linda Johnson, our Dean of Student Services, Carrie Lucas, our art therapist and counselor, and Nick Dexter, our learning specialists. Let's begin. So I want to commence my part of the presentation by sharing a bit of Edison High School's history. We have a very rich history. We're coming up on completing 50 years in operation. And back in the day, we were known as the Tree of Learning. And to this day in the community, people still often fondly refer to us as the Tree of Learning or just the Tree. However, in the last several decades, we pivoted from being the Tree of Learning to Thomas A. Edison High School. And then we realized people were just referring to us as Edison High School out in the community. And so we pivoted from being Thomas A. Edison High School to simply Edison High School or Edison. So it's just a bit of history about the progression of our name these past 50 years. I want to share a bit about our relationship to Jesuit High School as well. As you may know, we are housed on Jesuit's campus, and while we are separate institutions, we have a rich history in partnership with Jesuit. For the entirety of our 50 years, we've had a strong connection to Jesuit. We appreciate them immensely, and they appreciate us immensely as well. So for starters, Edison students and Jesuit students can take classes and participate in activities at either school. And you'll see a steady stream of students going back and forth between the campuses throughout the day. It's really amazing to see. There's a lot of great camaraderie and friendship between the two schools. Also, admissions to each school are separate, but students can go back and forth, again, for classes and activities, everything from sports and drama to the various clubs that they have. Again, we have a real great partnership that continues to this day and will continue going forward. So a bit about our student body. We're a pretty small school, small but mighty, I'll say. So our student body presently is at 123 students, and our average class size is a 9-to-1 student-teacher ratio. We have a diverse population from the Portland and Vancouver metro areas, and approximately 61% of our students identify as male, and approximately 39% of our students identify as being female. I want to pivot a bit to having Nick Dexter share this next section with you. So Nick Dexter, go ahead and take it away.
Thank you, Dan. So I have the pleasure of introducing our student profile. Students who attend Edison often have learning disabilities or learning challenges. And so we are very helpful providing accommodations and supports for our students to achieve their potential. The list here that you are seeing in front of you may be very familiar. A large percentage of our students present with either ADHD or dyslexia. Those are by far the two most common presentations, but we have others on the list that you can see that are a little bit more specific. And we have a wonderful parent testimonial for you to take a look at as far as knowing more about our wonderful diversity of students.
The teachers have just been so supportive. I mean, they get these kids. I mean, they know that these kids are wicked smart. They're just trouble. A lot of that trouble, I mean, it's not, good or bad trouble. It's just, it's feeling like you don't fit in. You're frustrated at a lot of things. Your teacher doesn't, get you, doesn't know how to get to you. Frustrated that none of your classmates get you. So how many schools do you know of where kids understand Tourette's? I don't know any of them. If that happened in any other school, the kids would be like, that kid's weird. This school, it's like, you're cool, man. You're cool. 5 minutes until break, we're good. And I know talking to parents, we just all feel like we just won the lottery that our kids got into Edison. We just all are like, like me. Well, my left kidney or my right kidney? I just need one. If I donate one, can my kid go to school here? Is that what it takes? Yeah, I'll do anything. What will it take? If your kid is wicked smart but trouble in school, this is the place for him or her. I mean, it's really it could be that easy.
And as Alex said, our students are wicked smart. They learn differently, and so we provide them support in how they learn best so that they can achieve their potential. Here's some additional educational information for you. We do award the Standard Oregon Diploma. And since most of you who are applying will have a 9th grader next year, here is a typical freshman schedule. There are sometimes unique situations They might have a slightly different schedule, but in general, most students would start with those 5 classes. And one of the wonderful features of our school is that the foreign language that we offer is American Sign Language. And to further explain that, Ms. Call, our ASL teacher, will present a brief tutorial on that.
Hello, my name is Megan Call. I'm the ASL teacher here at Edison High School. I love working at Edison. I love the environment. I think working at Edison is very rewarding. I love teaching sign language, and to be able to teach a language in my own way, student-focused, having fun, playing games is amazing. American Sign Language is a great fit for students here at Edison because it's a visual language, it's a 3D language. There's no writing down. You can watch it, take it in, and kind of produce it in your own way. Yes, at first students are timid. They know other students perhaps are watching them. So I do not force that output of signing. So beginning, it's all story listening with your eyes, and they're watching me sign. Eventually they're, oh, do have the confidence to sign, and they do sign, and it grows to the second year of taking the language. After taking 2 years of sign language here at Edison, students are able to have basic conversation skills, they're able to introduce themselves, talk about hobbies and colors, and they can learn about deaf community. They know the history of deaf community, they know it's different than hearing culture and our hearing community, and so they can leave and have a sense of, oh, I learned a language. The awesome and good thing about American Sign Language is that it fulfills the state requirement for a foreign language. I'm excited for your student to come to Edison High School. I would enjoy that.
We have many layers of support at Edison, and in front of you is a list of some of them, the most important ones. Comprehensive accommodation. So we work with each student to develop their own support plan as far as what they specifically need to be successful. We have an advisory group class. We'll talk about that more later. And we have embedded in the advisory groups and in classrooms executive functioning support. And we have a very fine counseling program. We have a transition specialist and a learning specialist here on site. We do regular communication with parents and families, and then we offer yearly conferences, student-led conferences. We feature a later start time than many schools. Most school days start about 9 a.m. And then we offer additional homework and study support through our Saturday school and 8th period programs. And we will watch a quick tutorial on 8th period.
So one of the special things that Edison offers is something called 8th period. And 8th period is a time where students are able to come and get really individualized supports from their teachers, from the different classes. It's often students who have grades that are dropping a little bit, they're able to come to that 8th period time to get really focused supports, to bring those grades up, finish any missing assignments, and also just continue to connect deeper with their instructors.
Now, many of you that are applying to the school, you will be familiar with accommodations through maybe an IEP at your student's present school or an ILP. These are some of the most common accommodations that our students use. Some students need many accommodations, some just a few. It varies, of course, individually from student to student, but I think you would be familiar with most of these. The most commonly used, of course, are extended time. And then we have many students that really use earbooks, audio or digital books, speech to text, text to speech. And we have some students that really benefit from note-taking support. This is not the comprehensive list. There are others, but these are the most prevalent. We offer a one-to-one student iPad program. And so students have access to a lot of learning apps. And again, you can see some of the learning apps that are available to our students that are the most commonly used. But we, of course, use digital textbooks, audiobooks, and students become very adept with text-to-speech and speech-to-text. Super important. Our school offers education management plans. This would be similar to what you may know as an IEP. We call it the EMP. And the EMP is kind of an umbrella, which includes the centralized document and which includes the accommodation supports goal setting. But within the EMP as well, we follow the student throughout the year. They create goals early in the year with input from their parents, and those are followed throughout the year through our student-led conferences. Our goal is to tie those together and keep students focused on their goals and continue to support them. And each year, students may come up with new goals, or they may continue the goals that they had previously set. Our school offers an honors program. There are students at our school that are particularly adept in certain subjects and would like a greater challenge. So those typically become available to students beginning second semester of the freshman year. They will do the standard curriculum, but they will negotiate with their teacher some additional coursework that would satisfy the requirement of getting an honors designation on their diploma and their transcript. A student can commit to one semester at a time for an honors designation, and that allows flexibility for students depending on what other things are happening in their lives and if they have the time and the bandwidth to pursue the honors program. And again, students who earn 3.5 honors credit will receive a cord at graduation, so that's just an additional honor for some of our students to attain. Now I will have the pleasure of turning it over to Carrie Lucas, who is our amazing counselor. Take it away, Carrie.
Thanks everybody for joining us today. I'm going to go over a few slides here. The first being how we check in on academics and the executive functioning that we support for students and families. Students do send their parents a weekly report giving them their grades and their plans to either make up assignments if they have any missing, or bring up any of the grades that they aren't satisfied with. Parents and students can also use PowerSchool, which some of you may be familiar with. You will both have access, the parent and students will both have access. You can read comments from teachers, see grades, and get missing assignments for your student. All teachers also use Google Classroom to post assignments, help students track missing assignments again, see what their homework might be for that night, and also have additional resources for whatever class that is. So one of the really cool things we have here at Edison are advisory groups. Our advisory groups are made up of a teacher who leads the group and a group of anywhere from 6 to 8 students that come from all different grade levels. So you have freshman, senior, sophomore, junior. So they really kind of get to develop some relationships with other students of different grade levels. It's a supportive atmosphere. Students work on organization and checking their planner and making sure that they're good with their grades and missing assignments, and also maybe where they have to attend 8th period, as Nick talked about before. Also, advisors help their advisees work on documenting their service learning hours, and they write a service learning paper every year to talk about their experience. Once a week, counselors create a curriculum and push it out to the advisories, and they have a longer advisory period. We try to focus on SEL, or social emotional learning, also goal setting, coping strategies, social justice, and again, service learning. So let's talk a little bit about our counseling and college career prep departments. We currently have 3 counselors on staff. I am a licensed school counselor and art therapist, and we also have 2 other licensed school counselors. We also have Nick Dexter, our learning specialist. He does have a small caseload, but his primary duty is to support the academic integrity of our students. We also have a full-time transition specialist. So Jesse Cox is who will help guide your students through college applications, taking standardized tests for college placement, identifying colleges, or also obtaining internships or work experiences, and basically all around planning for your students' path after high school. So we have some additional educational experiences here at Edison. We call them excursions. As we're recording this, we have over 40 students down in Ashland attending the Oregon Shakespeare Festival, and they've been there for 3 days. That is a junior and senior excursion that all the English teachers go on and kind of weave into their curriculum. We also have an Oregon Coast diving expedition. We have a scuba club here where students get to go. They spend some time learning how to dive and get their certification, and then go swim with the sharks at the Oregon Aquarium. We also, some of our science teachers do excursions to places like Opal Creek, where they stay in yurts and meet with rangers and incorporate their science curriculum into that excursion. We also have a great opportunity that Linda here has led for a couple of years now, and it happens after students' junior year. They go and kayak the Snake River for, I believe, 5 or 6 days, maybe longer. Spend the night, have meals cooked for them. It's a real bonding experience that our juniors get to do before senior year, and they all just love it. We also, sprinkled throughout the year, will have educational learning days. That can look like a physics teacher who is teaching about boats, maybe taking students on a boat on the Willamette and studying all the bridges, the wonderful bridges we have here in Portland. It's always a day where we're trying to do some project-based learning and get students out of the classroom to learn. I mentioned service learning before. So a certain number of hours are required each year for your student to do. That can be volunteering at a homeless shelter. It can be helping an elderly neighbor. Cassie Halpin, who is one of our English teachers and runs the service learning program, always has great resources for families to hook them up with places they can earn their hours. So I'm now going to turn it over to Linda Johnson, and thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Carrie. We are very fortunate to be on the campus of Jesuit High School. We've been here with them for 47 years. We have a great hybrid program. It's really a symbiotic relationship between the two, and where students from both schools can take classes so they can meet their needs. So we have 44 students at Edison taking 1, 2, or 3 classes at Jesuit currently. And there are 73 students that actually take classes at Edison, either 1, 2, or 3 classes. A lot of those are sign language, but at Edison, we have, for instance, our math goes through Algebra 2. So if you take a pre-calc class or whatever, then you would go over to Jesuit and take a class there. Edison students can also participate in any of their Jesuit clubs, their sports, dances, the homecoming dances this weekend. They have a great library that we are welcome to go anytime that it's open, and also go to their lunch, drama productions, anything that Jesuit does, we are pretty much always invited to. So where do parents and families come in? Parents help Edison in 2 annual fundraising events. The first one is Edison Breakfast, and it is November 3rd this year at the Oregon Zoo. And the other one is an auction we call the Brilliance Benefit, and it happens in March. Those 2 fundraisers help us in many ways: technology for our school, professional development for our teachers, and tuition assistance for some students that may not be able to afford Edison's full pay. The admissions process is pretty straightforward. You make an application. Our application is going to be on our website. You fill it out and submit it. We will review your application to see if your student is a potential fit for our school. If this applicant is within our general profile, we invite them in for a shadow day. The shadow days will be on Wednesdays coming up later on this year and the beginning of 2023. And after all that, we will review all the applications and then let you know. First of all, the deadline to apply is January 13th. There are a lot of pieces that have to go into the application, such as an IEP, teacher recommendations, test scores, etc. The important part is the application is submitted by January 13th. If there are a couple of outstanding items, that's okay. We can still hunt those down, but you must press submit on the application on January 13th or earlier. It is not a first come, first serve. So don't think you have to get your application in now. It has the same weight as someone that sends it in on January 13th. Between that time, between January 13th and March 9th is when the admission letters go out. Between that time, we will be reviewing all the applications and we will be still having students come in for their shadow days. Financial aid, the deadline's the same day, January 13th, as the application. So those two things can come in, but please, it gets closed. We do not look at financial aid after that date. So if you think that you want to apply for financial aid, please, please, please do so by January 13th. Also, if you are looking to apply at Jesuit and Edison, everything is separate. So if you're going to be applying for financial aid, you need to apply financial aid at both schools. We do not share that information. Same it goes for admissions. They are both separate. They are blind. We do not look at the financial aid as an admissions committee. Whatever happens there, that all in the back end, business office will keep all that separately. And at the end, when we give them our recommendations, they figure out the financial aid piece. We have nothing to do with that. And it is a need-based financial aid. So please, like I said, make sure you fill that out. All the funding is from donations, such as the Brilliance benefit and the raffle, and the brunch was a brunch. This year is actually going to be breakfast. And about 1/3 of our students receive financial aid. So we encourage you to apply if needed. Now I'm going to send it over to Mr. Keller to wrap it up.
Great. Thank you, Linda. So I want to share a bit of information about where our students go after graduating from Edison. Right. So obviously that bittersweet day arrives after 4 years here, and our students go on to the next phase of life. And so to share with you a partial list of colleges attended by Edison students, here we go. So Carroll College, Northern Arizona University, Oregon State University, Pacific Lutheran University, Portland Community College, Portland State University, Seattle Pacific University, Southern Oregon University, University of Arizona, University of Idaho, University of Oregon, and Western Oregon University. So obviously some of our students go on to pursue employment as well, or some combination of employment and education, but our students are very well represented at a number of amazing institutions of higher education in our state and beyond. Lastly, thank you so much for being here to see our virtual presentation. We really hope to connect with you soon in person, and so to that end, I want to share with you 2 open house opportunities we have coming up here in the very near future. So on December 6th, from 5:30 to 6:30, right here on Edison's campus, we'll be hosting an open house. Please pop in. It's a great chance to ask follow-up questions after having seen this presentation, and also just to get eyeballs on our campus and to tour a little bit so you have a sense for where your student would be attending school. Also on February 7th, we have the same event and same time. Again, 5:30 to 6:30. So once more, thanks so much for being here on behalf of Linda, Carrie, and Nick. Thank you. It's been a real pleasure to share with you, and we hope to see you in person soon. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.